Hello and welcome to Disney Travel Tales, a podcast that allows you to immerse yourself in someone's recent Disney trip. I'm Jenny, and I'm so happy to be here with you talking about my favorite thing, Disney trips. Join us every Friday as we explore the parks or cruise ships with a new guest and learn inside tips and tricks to hopefully help make your vacation go a little smoother. Make sure to subscribe to the show wherever you are listening so you never miss a new episode, and I would love it if you left a positive review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. This is the easiest way to support the podcast. Another way to support the podcast is to use me as your travel agent at no cost to you. Email me at jenny@trolleylanetravel.com. Let me do all the hard planning while you sit back and count down the days to your vacation. Okay, so let's get going with today's show. Hello and welcome. You are listening to episode number 83, and this is a deep dive and review of Boardwalk Inn and Villas at Walt Disney World Resort in Florida. Aiden and I stayed here for 2 nights for our June 2023 trip, and I have to say I fell in love with this resort. What about you, Aiden?
Yeah, this resort was really cool. There were a lot of just things that made this resort a must-pick over some other resorts.
Yeah, and I'm excited to kind of get down into that and talk more about it. So from the Disney website, it describes this resort as experience the charm and whimsy of turn-of-the-century Atlantic City at this waterfront resort hotel. Make a splash at Luna Park Pool and delight in a massage at the state-of-the-art fitness center. Discover carnival games, unique dining, and exciting nightlife on the Coney Island-style boardwalk. Strung like saltwater taffy along the shimmering Crescent Lake, Disney's Boardwalk Inn is located within walking distance to both Epcot and Disney's Hollywood Studios. So let's just kind of start off by talking about the overall feel of the resort. What was your first impression when we arrived?
My first impressions were very positive. Going in, we talked about this on one of our other episodes, but just the smell of the boardwalk is just so nice when you go in, and the atmosphere of it's just super nice. It's just a really pleasant hotel to stay at.
Yeah, it was really nice, and the smell. I wish there was a candle that smelled like the boardwalk. Yeah. I might have to research that because this hotel smelled so amazing. It was really clean. It really stayed on point with kind of that Atlantic City feel from the decor of the resort. When you walked in, there was this carousel that not a statue, but what is that called? A small carousel that kind of a model carousel that you could look at. There were comfortable chairs that you could sit in. One thing that I did notice, and again, we got there very early, so it wasn't at check-in time, but the check-in desk, there was no one really there. It was really peaceful and quiet. It just had a really welcoming feel once we got there, which I really enjoyed. I do also want to say that there is a huge difference when you stay at a value resort versus a deluxe resort when it comes to the lobbies and the check-in process. It's definitely more luxury. You definitely get what you're paying for when it comes to the little details like this in the resort. Okay, so now let's talk about the boardwalk outdoor space. So there is more to this resort than just a place to sleep. People come to Disney's Boardwalk to kind of visit the boardwalk itself, as opposed, even if they are not staying at the resort, which is kind of cool. So it's really its own attraction. And from the Disney side, it describes it as experience the timeless charm of Disney's Boardwalk, a quarter-mile promenade of exquisite dining, unique shops, and exciting nightlife. Stroll along the water's edge, play afternoon midway games, and discover evening street performers. Evoking turn-of-the-century boardwalks in such coastal cities as Coney Island and Atlantic City, Disney's Boardwalk is a short stroll to Epcot and a breezy boat ride to from Disney's Hollywood Studios. So kind of backtracking a bit on Instagram this week, I asked people if they had any questions about this resort that we were going to answer in this podcast. So we will be answering those kind of throughout the podcast instead of all at once at the end. But back to the boardwalk. So on the boardwalk, you can find entertainment for all ages. There are some adult-only options, which makes this a great resort for adult-only trips. There's the Atlantic Dance Hall, Jelly Rolls, and Abracadabra Bar. Abracadabra, I don't know, something like that. So the dance hall is a great place. It's literally just kind of a dance hall. Like you go in, they play music, and you dance and have adult beverages. And it's a great place for like a girls' night or an adults-only trip where you can kind of let loose without kids being around. Jelly Rolls is a dueling piano bar for adults only. This place, I've heard nothing but really great things about. It's supposed to be lots of fun. Obviously, since I was with Aiden and he is only 17, I did not visit any of these locations, but I have heard great things about all of them. And then there's the Abracadabra, which is just a fun bar option for adults as well. So for families and kids, you can catch jugglers performing at different times during the day and at night. There's arcade games. There's like a basketball shooting game. That I think is only at night because we were there during the day and we never saw these games open. There's photo booths and just lots of great places to grab a quick snack. And it really does come alive in the evening and at night. Something that some people are kind of worried about is hearing all this activity in your room. So we were not in a room facing the boardwalk. You can have a room that does look over the boardwalk, which that might be something to think about. You might actually be able to hear all the noise in your room. We were a standard view room, so we were kind of on the back side of the resort, and we had no problem with noise levels whatsoever. So Aiden, what was your overall impression of like the boardwalk area of this resort? Because we did walk around it a bit. We didn't participate necessarily in the evening, nighttime events, but we were there. So like, what did you think about it?
The boardwalk was really cool. Like just being able to walk around outside, the atmosphere was really cool. And the entire place kind of just stayed like in character. Like when you're walking around, it's like you're walking along a boardwalk. It feels like that. So that's also really nice. And just seeing like all the things you can do is also really cool. Like I remember we were walking back from Epcot one night and we saw that they were having this s'mores campfire and movie night thing. They had this big projector where they were playing Disney movies, and it's just like really cool to see how they have activities just going on at all times here.
Yeah, and so that's like, we'll talk about amenities later, but yeah, that's one of the amenities this resort and all the Disney resorts has is a campfire and a movie night. One of the questions that I got on Instagram is is there things for preschoolers to be able to do at this resort? And I think that this is a great resort for kids. Like Aiden said, the outdoor movie, when you are walking up to the Boardwalk Hotel from the boardwalk, so like from the lakeside, there's this really big patch of green grass. And even during the day when we would come back to the resort for a break or when we were going to the parks later in the morning, there were kids just running around. Like this is such a nice place for kids to run around. This is also a place that Disney characters will come meet you while you're at your resort. I've seen pictures of characters that come here and meet kids. So this is a really nice spot for kids that can just run around and have fun. They would like the movie. They had like pillows that you can sit on if you wanted to. There were quite a lot of people watching the movie, wasn't there? Mm-hmm.
And back to the character theme, like one time I had to run downstairs to grab something, and Chip and Dale were just meeting people in the lobby. So it's just like there's literally something always going on.
Yeah, and Disney characters typically only meet guests at the deluxe resorts. They do go to other resorts, but if you're staying at a deluxe resort, you kind of can guarantee that you might see a character while you were there. So that's also great for preschoolers. We'll talk more about some of the other amenities later, but I think visiting this resort with a preschooler is perfect. Like you're going to have a great time and your child is going to have a great time as well. When was the last time you visited a Disney park? For many adults, it's been a really long time. I would love to help you fix that situation. As a travel agent specializing in Disney, my job is to make sure your vacation can go as seamless as possible. All of my services are complimentary to my clients. Yes, you heard that right. I'm free to you. These services include helping you from the start finding the perfect resort to fit your needs, handling all the bookings and reservations, helping to teach you about the parks because if it's been a while, man, have they changed. I have insider tips and tricks I share with all of my clients, and I will be your single point of contact throughout your entire trip, even while you are there. Don't wait another year to visit a Disney park or go on a Disney cruise. Let this be the year you finally go. Email me at jenny@trolleylanetravel.com to get the conversation started, or see the link in the show notes to fill out my quote form. All listeners that book a trip with me will receive a $20 gift card to use on their trip. Just make sure you say you heard this on the podcast. Okay, now back to the show. Moving on to dining, another really popular question I got on Instagram is what the dining options are. So we're just going to kind of run through that. The Boardwalk offers a lot of table service, nicer restaurants, and most of them are on the Boardwalk. So you don't even have to walk in the resort at all to eat at one of the restaurants. They're just kind of out there on the Boardwalk. I'm also going to be posting a lot of pictures of what it looks like in case you aren't familiar with the Boardwalk. Go over to my Instagram and check out my stories and see what this all looks like because this resort is so unique and it's really beautiful. But yeah, so there's the Flying Fish, which offers dinner only. It's feast on premium, sustainable seafood and oak-grilled steaks at this contemporary American restaurant. There's also Trattoria al Forno, which offers breakfast and dinner. Savor old world favorites for both breakfast and dinner at this casual Italian eatery. Big River Grill and Brewing Works offers lunch and dinner. This is a family-friendly micro-brewery and restaurant which serves award-winning beers and fresh twist on American pub favorites. You do not need a reservation for this restaurant, and it is a table service, like you will have a seat. And then there's the Boardwalk Deli, which offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Delight in timeless charm of the Disney Boardwalk while you dine on overstuffed sandwiches and deli favorites. So the deli is really the only quick service option at the Boardwalk. And for me, this was kind of a downside of this resort. While they do have amazing restaurant style options, they don't have that quick service option that you can just go grab something really quick. Like you can't just go grab chicken tenders and french fries or Mickey waffles and eggs. They just don't have that option, which kind of was a problem, wasn't it?
Yeah, it made getting breakfast really hard because we didn't want to wait in a long line to get a really nice sandwich for breakfast. We just wanted some quick food and head over to the parks, and you don't really get that option.
Yeah, and we visited the deli one evening when we came back to our room. I stopped and we wanted to see what it was like. I stopped and got a chocolate croissant that I ate the next morning for breakfast. And the food at the deli was fancy. Aiden, you would not have ate those sandwiches.
Yeah, probably not.
They were filled with vegetables. They were fancier lunch meats. It really was not kid friendly. This is definitely geared more towards adults when it comes to the food. One of the things that I really wanted to do while we were there is eat at Trattoria al Forno. That's so hard to say, but that's where I wanted to eat. I wanted to grab breakfast for us. It was the day we were checking out and bring it back to our room. Now, Trattoria al Forno offers takeout food for all of their meals, except when we were there, they were not allowing that for breakfast. And their breakfast menu looks amazing. So that was a huge downside for me. I think if we would have been able to order food from there and bring it back to our room, our experience here would have been completely different. But as for the food, it just was a big downfall for me. So the next most popular question I got was about the pools. For me, the pool was definitely a highlight of this resort. What do you think, Aiden?
Yeah, the pool is really cool. It has one just giant slide that's actually pretty fun to go on. And there's activities always going on in the pool, the cast members are having things go on. And then there's also a food service option inside the pool, so just a really cool place to hang out.
And it's a fun theme. It was like a carnival. So they have the bar/food area. It looks like a carousel. The slide looks like you're on the boardwalk. It has a picture of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway kind of scene, from the Mickey shorts. It's really cute. It used to be a big clown that was like called the scary clown, and everyone hated it, so they changed it, which I don't think you've seen a picture of the scary clown. I need to show you. It was bizarre. But so there are 3 pools at the boardwalk. The main pool, the one we were talking about, is called the Luna Park pool. Swim in this carnival-themed pool that is home to a 200-foot-long water slide, harkening back to an amusement park of the 1920s. The giant Luna Park pool invites you to clown around in the water and make a splash under the spouting trunks of grinning elephant statues. Adults will enjoy the serenity of the whirlpool spa, while the little ones will surely want to splash it up in the kiddie pool. There is a great kiddie pool kind of splash area over here that, again, going back to the preschoolers, I think they would really enjoy. But this pool was so much fun. We visited this pool kind of later in the day. I was worried about getting a seat, but there are tons and tons of seats. And right when we walked in, we found a great spot that we could just kind of lay our stuff in and use as our seat. I think, in my opinion, this is the best pool I've ever been to at Disney. What do you think?
Yeah, this pool was really cool. The only downside is it's just like all Disney water slides. It has that, like, the bumps in between that hurt your back. But other than that, this pool was really cool. It was really fun just getting to hang out here for like the hour and a half that we did.
The water slide was really long. Like, I definitely noticed that compared to other resort water slides, this water slide was so long and it was so much fun. And there was usually always people in line, but you never had to wait too long. There's no attendant there, so it's kind of just an honor system. They have a light. And then you just wait till the light screen to go down. Pretty much everyone was following it. And one of the also cool things is when you're standing up on the water slide, you can see the water taxi goes from the Swan and Dolphin over to Hollywood Studios. And you get a pretty good view of the Swan and Dolphin, and you can kind of see one of the miniature golf courses as well over there. But we had a great time in this pool. The cast members, when we were just kind of swimming around, were playing really fun games. They had like an emoji game where they were holding up cards with emojis and you had to guess the movie. And that was actually really fun.
Yeah, that was really fun. We were originally weren't going to play, but then we ended up getting caught up in it. So
yeah, she's like, this is for the kids. And there were all these kids over there next to her. And then some of those cards were really hard. And so I think that's kind of what drew us in. We were like, oh, this isn't easy. So, but it was really fun. We had a really great time over there. But I highly recommend, if you are visiting this resort, you have to go to this pool. Make time to spend some time there because it was fantastic. My favorite pool so far that I've ever been to at Disney. And there are 2 other quiet pools. They don't have slides. They usually don't have a refreshment place over by them. They're just, your standard kind of just quiet pool. A lot of adults like to take advantage of these pools to kind of just relax. Other amenities that are offered, like we said, they have campfire activities every night, movie under the stars. This resort is very close to one of the miniature golf courses. You could just walk over there, and usually when you're staying, you get 4 free tickets to play miniature golf. We did that on another one of our trips and loved it. It was one of our favorite things we did, so I really recommend doing that if you have a chance. You can rent a Surrey bike to ride around on the boardwalk itself. You can go fishing. There are tennis and pickleball courts, which we saw when we were walking over to Hollywood Studios one morning, and people were actually like up early playing tennis. That's impressive. There's really nice walking and jogging trails, a fitness room where you can work out, and then a really nice big playground for kids and an arcade as well. But yeah, this resort is so much fun. It has lots of amenities. You could easily stay here and do a resort day, and your entire day would be filled full of fun things to do, and you wouldn't even miss being at a park. Okay, moving on, let's talk about our room. So there are 2 sides to this resort. There is the Boardwalk Inn, which is the hotel side, and then there's the Boardwalk Villas, which is the DVC side. We stayed on this side, and we stayed in a deluxe studio, which sleeps 4, and it had a standard view. Right now on the inside, the rooms are all being remodeled, so there is some construction going on. That didn't affect us. We couldn't hear it. But the new rooms, I've seen pictures of them. They are so beautiful. We actually had an agent who stayed at one. I think it was in May. And yes, these rooms are absolutely beautiful. our room over on the Villa side has not been redone, and you could definitely tell it was older.
Hey parents, do your kids listen to podcasts? Do they like solving mysteries and flexing their imaginations? Mysteries at Riddleton Elementary is a new children's mystery podcast. Your kid can join Billy Bonanza and Susie Sockington on exciting and wacky adventures as they attempt to solve mysteries around their school. Mysteries at Riddleton Elementary is available now on all podcast platforms.
Yeah, but it wasn't bad. It was still a really nice room. It had a great view overlooking Epcot, so we could still see the fireworks from our room. The bed was really comfortable, and there was a lot of space, but you could definitely tell it was older.
Yeah, so we had a queen-size bed and then a couch pull-out bed, and now they're doing the Murphy beds for the pull-out beds, so we just had the standard couch pull-out bed. Aiden slept on that, and you said it was fine, right?
Yeah, it was good.
These rooms are really roomy. Like, they have a lot of room. They have a great open, really big entryway, which I always like. That's a great place to kind of put stuff. They always have, these deluxe studios have a nice kitchenette area, much bigger than what you're going to get at your standard hotel room. You have a full-size coffee pot where you can brew a cup of coffee, like a pot of coffee, not just a Keurig. A nice size fridge. They have some plates and like plastic plates and stuff in there that you can use. A really nice size sink. That was a great spot for us to store food and water. And then the part of the resort, the part of this room that showed its age the most to me was the bathroom. Most of what they're redoing is the bathrooms are having stand-up showers only, not having a bathtub. Some of them do still have a bathtub, but some of them don't. This one had your old school, just like very, very shallow bathtub with the shower like all together and a curtain. You could also see like aging on the baseboards, especially in the bathroom. Like the bathroom was very old to me. The sink was just kind of your old standard sink. We did have a lot of counter space because there was only one sink. It kind of has a shutter style cabinetry to it. One thing I did love, and I think you get with a lot of the villas that you stay in, is they give you the Disney H2O products where you can take them. So you get the little lotions and the shampoos and conditioners and the soap, whereas some of the new remodels, they're just putting it in the bottles on the wall where you just kind of squirt it out. So that was nice. I definitely stocked up on those. I love bringing those home. I just love the way that smells. And since they've been discontinued, it's nice to try to grab them when you can. So that is something else to keep in mind. My favorite part of the room was the balcony. We had a standard view, which I was going into this, I was a little bit worried what our view would actually be. We were on the 4th floor and we overlooked the entrance to the Boardwalk the Boardwalk Resort. But from the corner, you could see, like if we looked out to the right side, we could see the Skyliner and we could see France over in Epcot, which was really cool. And then at night, we could see the fireworks like literally perfectly, which was such a nice surprise. When we got to the resort, I thought, I think we're going to be able to see the fireworks, but we weren't for sure. And then when we went back that first night, it was so nice being able to see the fireworks. We couldn't hear the music, but it was just a really nice surprise, don't you think?
Yeah, it was really cool.
Especially for a standard view. Usually your standard view is a parking lot. And so being able to see the Skyliner, parts of Epcot, it just was very peaceful. This resort has that feel like on the backside of it. It's very, very peaceful. Okay. And I just want to add again, I'm going to be putting some room tours on our Instagram as well. So make sure to go check that out so you can see exactly what our room looked like. Now, the number one most popular question I got was about transportation to the parks. This is such a big deal for people when they are booking a room and choosing a resort at Disney is how easy is it going to be to get to the parks? Because let's face it, the parks is where you're going to spend most of your time. That was probably one of my favorite parts of this resort was the transportation to the parks. So you are in a very short walking distance to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. I'm talking like, how long do you think the walk to Epcot was? Like 10 minutes or
Epcot
less?
was probably like 10 minutes, and then Hollywood Studios was like 15 to 20. So
yeah, like it was short.
wasn't
That
that
one
bad.
morning we walked to Hollywood Studios, we got there so fast. Like it even kind of surprised me how fast we got there. Other options are you can take a boat right from the Boardwalk boat dock over to Hollywood Studios or Epcot. They don't offer bus service because there are other options to those resorts. You also, if you wanted to go to Hollywood Studios, you could walk over to Epcot and hop on the Skyliner, which is right outside of Epcot, and you could take that over to Hollywood Studios. We actually took advantage of the Skyliner a couple of times when we were at Hollywood Studios, and we didn't feel like walking back and we didn't feel like taking the boat back because we enjoy the Skyliner. It's just a fun transportation.
Mm-hmm. It's like a little break you can get from all the walking around.
And it's really pretty, and it wasn't faster. Like I wouldn't say we got back really fast, but it's just a very smooth ride. Like you just go get on and you take your little ride and then you just get off and walk back over to the resort. You do have to take bus transportation to Animal Kingdom. We never did that because we were not staying here when we visited Animal Kingdom. And then, of course, you have to take bus over to Magic Kingdom, which if you've listened to this podcast before, I have absolutely terrible luck with buses, and it rang true when we stayed at this resort getting to Magic Kingdom again. I don't know what it is, but the buses were just so slow. And the night we were going to go to Magic Kingdom, we walked down to the bus stop. There were a ton of people waiting. They said they had been waiting there forever. You can check your app and it will tell you what time the buses are coming, but apparently they just kept moving that time back and back and back. And so we ended up taking a lift over to Magic Kingdom to kind of, I don't even know if we got there sooner, but we got there. It was a pretty easy ride. It was very seamless and inexpensive. And then when we came back to our resort that night, we decided to just do the bus because it was late and we didn't want to do Lyft. And we waited forever and ever and ever for our bus when all the other resorts' buses were coming, and Boardwalk was like the one bus that wasn't going to come pick up anyone. And so I don't know if it's just my bad luck, like if I'm cursed. But we did not have great experience with the buses at this resort. But I think with the bus, it's just kind of, it's either good or not good. I don't really know what else to say about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely, if you like Epcot and Hollywood Studios more, I would stay at like a hotel like this because the walking distance and just all the transportation options in general make going to those two parks just a lot more fun because you don't have to worry about the stress of getting back.
I 100% agree. And the one day when we were in Hollywood Studios and we had lunch over at Beach Club, we just, like, getting there was so easy. It wasn't stressful. It wasn't like waiting for a bus. It was just so easy. And we took the boat that time. And that's another nice thing about the Boardwalk is you're right by the Beach and Yacht Club and the Swan and Dolphin. And so there's tons of food options. If you don't want to eat at your resort, you can just ride a boat across the lake to a different resort and try the food that they have over there. But overall, I love the Boardwalk. I want to stay there again. I probably will stay there again. We're going to do our least favorite things about it and our favorite things about it. So, Aiden, what was your least favorite thing about the Boardwalk?
My least favorite thing was definitely just the food options. We're going to talk about the contemporary later, which kind of fixes this problem. But Boardwalk definitely had this problem, so that's what I disliked the most about it. I
agree. The food options was for breakfast mostly. It seems like they have a lot of great options for other meals. The breakfast food options were just not good. And that kind of put a damper on our trip because not being able to eat a good breakfast really slowed us down for the day. Mm-hmm. Aiden, what was your favorite thing about the resort?
My favorite thing was definitely just the transportation options. Being so close to two of my favorite parks definitely makes this just area of hotels just a must stay at for me.
Again, that's my favorite part as well. I totally agree. Especially when you're traveling with teenagers or people who don't want to wake up early, when you don't have to wake up early to get to Hollywood Studios, yet you can still rope drop it, that to me just makes it so worth it, because that is definitely one of the parks that you want to rope drop. And I think it opened at 8 or 8:30. I think it was 8, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. And we woke up like 30 minutes before and still got there on rope drop.
Yeah, like Aiden woke up at 7:30 and we were there at 8. And so that was just really nice. Like, just something to really think about, that if you are wanting to sleep in a little bit, but also be early at the parks, stay at a resort where you can walk. So that was our overall impressions of the boardwalk. If you have any questions, please shoot me an email at jenny@trolleylanetravel.com. I would love to answer them. If you're interested in booking this hotel, I would love to help you do it. Also, make sure that you visit our Instagram and see all the pictures and videos that I'm going to be posting about the Boardwalk Resort. Thank you for listening today. I really appreciate you spending your time over here with us, and I hope this was just what you needed to hear today. I'm always looking for new guests for the podcast, so if you are traveling to any Disney park or cruise, see the show notes for more information about being on the show. Visit the show all around the web at DisneyTravelTales.com or find us on Instagram and Facebook at Disney Travel Tales. See pictures from the guests on their vacations. Plus, this is just a great way to stay up to date with all things related to the podcast and Disney travel in general. Join me next week with a brand new episode. So until then, this is Jenny, and may all your Disney travel dreams become a reality.